So hi, one of the Good Noise podcasts. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with.
Michael Gross.
Scott Jones.
And Matt Glass, and we're the Goldeneyes.
And we're gonna ask him some questions today. I'm gonna start.
Did it.
You guys did
You
it.
did it.
So
The hard part's over.
well, no, it only gets harder from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you guys to start the band, and what does the band name mean?
Sorry, what's the first part again?
What inspired the creation of the band?
Oh, well, I'll take the first part, I guess. We've all, like I said before, probably before we started recording, we've all known each other since junior high school. And these other two guys actually formed a little band in junior high, right? So they started playing music together all the way back then in like 8th grade or something like that. Yeah, right? Something like that.
Ninth grade, I think.
Was
Maybe
that
not.
1000 West, or was that before that?
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Done your research.
I have done my research because I am in the I don't know how Discord server, and we know all about the Brobex and 1000 West
Oh,
and
cool.
this band, and yeah.
Well, then that'll make it easy then
Yeah.
for us to.
Yeah.
You'll know what we mean when we talk about things.
Yeah.
Matt and I can't remember for what purpose we were in the band room at the same time together, but like I was playing guitar for something and Matt was playing, maybe it was like a band contest or something. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
that's right. Yeah, there was a bit of band contest because you were with what's his? I can't remember the guy who was playing drums for you.
Jeff,
Something.
Yes, and
You
me
were
and
the
Corey
Jeff.
Rowley. Yeah.
That's right. That's the first time I remembered that guy. Yeah, lots of good stories there. Anyway, Matt seemed like perhaps a better drummer at the time. I say perhaps back then because I didn't really have any concept of what was good and wasn't good.
Mhm.
And they had a guitar player, and it was just almost like we were at the same place at the same time, and we just started playing music together. And that obviously, transformed into a band, which then transformed into Brobex and a whole bunch of other things since then. So I think that's how that started. Dowling came into the mix, right? Playing bass and other things, and then Mike later on. So yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so we've all known each other for a long time, and so because these guys played music and I was friends with them, I started to play music too, and then we've just kind of done that in one form or another ever since. Yep. And as far as the name Goldeneyes, I'm not really sure why we chose that. Probably what I usually say when people ask like meaning of the band name for any project I've ever been in, it's usually because it was available. Because
Yeah.
if you've ever tried to name a band, it's really hard to find a name that 100 people don't have already.
Mhm.
So I think it was probably a little bit of that too. Like we liked it, the sound of it, and no one had it, so that's good enough for us, I think.
Fair enough.
Solid. All right. So congratulations on your newest release, A Strange Moment in Time.
Oh,
How do you
this?
felt the response to it so far? Yes, that
Oh,
exactly,
wow.
actually.
Where did this come from?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
Right out
I
of
go
thin air.
everywhere with one of a copy. So
Yeah.
thanks, thank you.
Of course, yeah. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
Well, we're on your podcast, so I think it's going excellently.
Hell yeah.
Great.
Great
all right.
answer.
Amazing.
No, it's good. I mean, look, compared to, what am I trying to say? We're still very much unknown. We'll put it that way. But for the handful of people that do know about us, like it's been great. Yeah, nothing but positive things. But I wouldn't expect anyone to say negative things probably to our face.
Yeah.
They say that behind our back.
Hmm.
No one's at least said to my face that they think it's horrible.
That's
But
good.
that's good, yeah.
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 That's
That's
good
pretty good.
feedback.
Mhm.
So is there any meaning behind the album name or the cover art?
Yeah, I think we were thinking about different possible titles for the record, and that also too can be a challenge. But I wanted it because we recorded these songs during the pandemic when we were all kind of locked down at home. I think some of the songs were influenced by that, the situation that we were all in. And it was a strange time, right, for everybody, and still is to some degree. And so I think that's probably why we settled on that, was that to try to capture the time that we were in when we recorded these things. It was a very strange moment in time,
Yeah.
you could say.
Mhm.
And the album art, actually, this is actually a real photograph of, that's my dad. My dad's the guy on top here. Can you see?
Mhm.
Yes.
And that's his little brother. This
Aw.
this picture's like from the 60s.
Wow.
And my dad was home on leave from the army, and he was like getting his brother in some kind of army combat maneuver.
Mhm.
And I guess their dad, my grandfather, took a photo of it. So we just thought it was kind of a cool picture. And then Matt added all the cool color stuff and design to the original photo.
Very cool.
That's super cool.
Since you guys have worked on like a bunch of music before this together and everything, what was it like working during the pandemic, socially distanced, over email and whatnot? How'd you guys adapt to that?
I can take that one.
Sure.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I'll just start. Matt obviously will have an opinion about it, but this was sort of my foray back into music, like seriously. And so we all started like a chat group together before we really started writing music together again. And these guys were sort of like coaching me back into, you know, recording and kind of the new way of doing a lot of digital stuff and a lot of just the ability to bring in effects and everything that you like. And so they were kind of teaching me, and as they were teaching me, we sort of started to write songs again. And we're naturally just like bouncing ideas off of each other. And I think that was maybe somewhat of the genesis for starting to think about writing things together. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a really interesting process that I think a lot of musicians are starting to adapt to. You see a lot of mainstream musicians doing this kind of thing. So I think it's a cool way to collaborate with people.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
I was going to add that throughout most of the time we've done music together, I did all the recording and I kind of led on that stuff. And then over the last couple of years, Mike's been sort of like learning himself how to do it. And this was the first time I think that it was, well, I guess like there's a couple of Whisper Hawk albums and stuff that I wasn't that involved in, but this one was like, I kind of just sat back and let you guys do all the recording and just did basically just drums. And then if you needed changes from me on the drums or had like questions about the program, because I've been doing it for so long, but it's really fun to just kind of sit back and be less active in it so that I can enjoy the music more too, because I don't have to listen to it like 1,000 times over during the mixing process.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Also, Matt's really busy. You know, he makes films and does a lot of different production work like that. And so, I think it was kind of twofold. I didn't want to keep bugging Matt, like, hey, Matt, you know, do this, right? Because I was still like, you know, I'm still like learning how to record things myself, and I've been really into it for the last few years, and so I wanted to try my hand at recording things too, you know, like for an actual album instead of just demos. And I knew that Matt was a busy guy, so I didn't want to bug him. So I think it just kind of worked out that way, that, you know, that I ended up doing a lot of the mixing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You may get into this later in the interview, but it's been impressive watching Mike and his really mixing and recording capability and style. And that really bleeds through on the album, just the way he put that together. I think it stands, you know, with any professionally recorded album that you hear out there. I mean, he did a nice job on it, so it was fun to be a part of that process.
Thanks, pal.
Nice job, buddy.
It's very nice.
I would say, like, back when I was recording too, it was still, Mike still had all the, like, I could never tell when a guitar sounded right or a bass sounded right and all that, or even vocals and stuff. So it's not like I just was some recording guy and then Mike just started taking over. It was always a collaboration from the beginning.
All right.
Nice.
So can you guys tell me a little bit about your writing process for this record?
I think Scott and I started writing a couple of songs together that we were going to pitch for like television placements and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I've been working with a company for quite a few years now that does that, song licensing and stuff like that. And I thought it would be fun to collaborate with Scott because I think we have a lot of similar ideas and we have the same type of style musically. So I thought it would be fun to collaborate and see if we could write a couple songs that maybe could get used in something. And so we did a couple of those, and then we thought, wow, these sound pretty good. Let's write more songs. And then, like I said, just kind of went from there. And then we decided, well, let's just make an album out of these songs then. And so that's where it started. But I've been wanting to collaborate with Scott for a while. He'd been away from playing music for a few years, and I thought it would be cool to just get back together. And it's when you collaborate with somebody, they always bring something unique to the project that you wouldn't otherwise do on your own.
Yeah.
So
I'll add a couple things to that process that I thought was interesting. So I grew up, in fact, all of us grew up to some extent fans of the Beatles. And we really geeked out over that when we were younger. I think, Matt, I remember you and I like watching the Beatles anthology, live. And I don't know, you guys are probably way too young to remember that, but it was they basically had this kind of documentary that they aired for a few days in the 90s, and you got kind of like a back-scene look at their recording process, like Lennon and McCartney.
Oh, okay.
And so what was cool about the process for Mike and I in writing a lot of these songs was sometimes he would come up with the melody, he would come up with the music. And I mean, like all of it had been basically recorded for me. So I'd have a drum track, I'd have some guitar tracks, a bass track, and he would just be like, I don't really know what to do with this. Take it from here. And so then I would take it, lay down some vocals, lay down a melody, and then I'd pass it back to him. And sometimes it was a case where I would have that, kind of music track. He would put the vocal to it, and then we would add maybe some backup, maybe some, guitar solos, maybe whatever. So really most of the songs you hear on this album were that kind of process where it's like passing things back and forth. And I may have handed it to him with maybe a different kind of point of view, and he'd send it back with something very different. And I'd be like, whoa, that's not what I was thinking at all, but that's cool.
Yeah.
So that was a fun process.
That sounds cool.
I love that.
that's what's cool about collaboration. Yeah, it's different ways of looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why people do it. That's why people form bands.
Yeah, exactly. So how'd the track list for this come about? Did you guys like write an opener to be an opener, a closer to be a closer, or did you just kind of shuffle it and like, that sounds right?
I think it was more that. Yeah, I don't think we knew what. It wasn't like a concept album per se, so it wasn't like one track leads into the next one intentionally. But I think when you write a collection of songs, you do go through them when they're done and see in what order they fit the best. Like for example, sometimes like if a song ends on a certain chord and the next one begins with that same chord, that might be a good song to put together.
Yeah.
Just has kind of a nice flow to it. And it doesn't always work out perfectly, but you just try your best to put them in the order you think is best.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. So what song off this record took the longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorites?
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I don't know if this is a good thing, but I write songs really fast.
Okay.
And I try not to labor over them too long, because then you just start getting really like nitpicky.
Yeah.
You're worrying about things that probably don't really matter, as far as like the song is concerned. And I feel like we cranked these out pretty fast. I don't know if Scott had some of these songs already in his back pocket, but I know for me, I mean, I think I wrote the songs that I least the songs that I wrote the basic outline and chord structure for, I feel like that was really fast. And that's kind of how I like to work. I like to do things quickly while I'm feeling a certain way, right? I feel like I got a little momentum. I want to get it done while I'm feeling that way.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's different philosophies and different ways you can write music, but that's what I've always liked to do personally. So yeah, I think most of these came together pretty fast.
Okay.
I would say me personally, so another benefit of being in a band, like Mike was saying, is you have different, strengths and weaknesses and character traits. That is definitely a character trait of Mike's, to like get stuff done.
Yeah.
And so I don't have that same personality. So a lot of the songs that I maybe brought to the table was me sitting on the couch every night picking through something on the acoustic guitar, and maybe doing that for weeks until it's like, oh, this is kind of cool, maybe it's a song. And then showing it to Mike, and Mike's like, all right, well, get it done so that we can turn it into something. And so I actually enjoyed that pressure to turn it into something, because I think otherwise it may still be something I'm picking at the guitar while I'm watching TV.
Yeah. That's fair.
You're welcome.
Thanks, man.
And favorite songs off the record. Each have to
Favorite
pick one.
songs, Matt?
Yep, favorite songs.
Since Matt, I think Matt would be good to ask this because he's, probably hadn't listened to it as much as we have.
I remember, I think Rattlesnake is the one I'm thinking of. I don't play drums on it. And I listened to it. I'm like, what's this song? I didn't even know this song existed. Yeah, I really like that one.
All right.
That was cool too. I like.
But they're all great, and you should get the whole album. But that's the
Yes.
one I remember being like surprised because I'd never heard any of it until I think it might have been a video that Mike put out like as a preview, and I was like, what is this? Like, is that me? I don't think I did that.
That's an example of one Mike basically wrote and handed off to me, and I sort of turned it into this outlaw story basically. And I think it turned out well. Yeah, it was fun.
Like Scott, favorite songs off the record.
I think my favorite song is On My Way. This is one that originated with Mike. And one of the reasons it's my favorite, well, I just think it's a cool song. I like the message of it. I like the melody. He gave me a challenge to create a harmony, a backup vocal harmony. And it was a challenge. And that I think it pushed me to my limits to put something that sounded very complimentary to his unique voice. And I like how it turned out. It's a good song.
Oh, yeah.
I think I dig that one too, and for a lot of the same reasons. Like one of Scott's, he's a really good musician in a lot of ways, but one of his real strengths is his ability to do vocal harmonies. And I don't know if you've ever tried to do that or if you sing or not, but it's not an easy thing to do, and it's kind of one of those things that you have an ear for or you don't have an ear for it, right? So like not everyone is like good at it or can even do it. Scott, I think vocal harmonies come really naturally to him, and he's really good at them. And so I'd probably say On My Way also, just because it's like both of our voices harmonizing throughout the entire song, which you don't hear that often either, is just, you might hear vocal harmonies in parts of songs on a chorus maybe, but throughout the whole song, it's not very common. And I think just for that reason alone, I like that song because it's a little different than the usual.
All right. So you guys did mention this a little bit when we went over the album title, but if you wanted to go more in depth, where was your headspace at while writing this album?
I was thinking about this, and I don't even know that we were like intentional about a theme per se, but I think a lot of the songs have to do with the pandemic experience, if you will, where it's kind of like we've suffered some loss, right? I think about the song Down But Not Out and It's Gonna Be All Right. Like those are kind of about going through a tough time and trying to get through it. So I I don't know that we were intentional about that in these songs, but it feels like there's a bit of a theme about, loss, challenge, maybe a little bit of depression and difficulty, and maybe getting through some of those things, which I think is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'd agree with that.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I didn't rehearse that, by the way.
I disagree.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
uh-oh.
Oh God.
Matt
Oh no.
disagrees.
Let's get this going. Let's have a debate.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do you guys recommend your fans to listen to this record for the first time? Do you think they should cut off the lights, put on some headphones, just kind of immerse themselves in the album? Should they go on a road trip with friends? Should they just put it on at a party? What do you guys think?
I would say, look, just because the way I like to listen to music, I mean, you can listen to it a variety of ways, and there's a place for all those different ways of listening to music. But if you really want to like get what the album is trying to say, I feel like you gotta kind of put on some headphones or listen on some nice speakers by yourself without distraction, and just really kind of listen. Like just give it a really good listen. That's how I like to listen to music. But I understand if you're at a party. I mean, this probably isn't party music.
That's what kind of party, though?
I would. Yeah, I guess maybe if you're just getting together with a bunch of depressed people and trying to comfort each other, maybe this might be a good soundtrack to put on. But I mean, this wouldn't go over well at a dance party. But I think it's definitely the type of album that you want to listen to closely, maybe by yourself somewhere.
I agree.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think, Matt?
I think it feels like a driving album, like when you're driving through the mountains or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
It has that feel
That's
to
what I
me.
was going for. Yeah.
Hey, nice Emmys in the background, by the way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Matt doesn't want to flex. That's okay.
That's an Emmy-winning. What did you get those for?
Documentary stuff, just directing.
Oh,
An Emmy-winning documentarian.
Wow.
Wow.
Those are real Emmys.
We don't have to worry about that.
We have a famous person in the room. Oh my god.
Jesus.
We don't have to worry about that.
Oh my god, he pulled a gun.
That's why I didn't want to bother him about recording this album, because he was too busy winning Emmys.
He was too busy dusting off those Emmys. Gotta make it look great.
Polishing them.
Yeah, of course.
I get dusty. I can't help it.
So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less. All 3 of you have to do it.
3 words. Oh yeah.
3 words. As fast as you can.
Oh.
Throwback classics.
That's good.
2 words.
Yeah, I was. I didn't want
Throwback classics. That's 3.
Throwback is 1 word.
Throwback is 1 word.
You can probably.
We'll split it up.
We'll split it. Yeah.
Let's pretend we split the word.
Okay.
Throwback classics.
Okay.
That's fine. It's fine.
Throw it back somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
This will be probably for the purists out there, the musical purists. But I'm going to say pure analog joy.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Textured guitar rock.
All right.
Nice. Good job,
It
guys.
is.
All right. So
None of those things are wrong, except for mine.
well.
God damn it.
So what is your favorite memory you made while creating this record?
Let's be wholesome, guys.
Yeah, come on.
I was just happy to complete something, honestly, with Scott here, because Matt and I have been recording music together over the years, and we've collaborated on a lot of things. But this was kind of, like Scott said earlier, this is kind of his first thing back after a few years of not recording anything and playing and stuff with the group anyway. So I thought it was cool to make something with Scott and to see him get back into it, of making music, and it was cool to see that he still had, the mojo, right? He still knew how to put a song together and to add cool parts to it. So that was cool for me to see. So I thought that was a pretty good accomplishment for myself to just collaborate with Scott here.
Hell yeah.
Hey, thanks, man.
We got a love fest going on over here. Actually, I agree. That was I wasn't sure I had the mojo, to be completely honest with you. Like, it'd been a while. But I think for me, it was like, it was also cool. So like I've stayed in touch with Matt over the years. I've stayed in touch with Mike over the years, but kind of separately.
Yeah.
And this kind of brought all of us back together, which has been fun, right? Like, we have a long history together and lots of inside jokes, and you talk to like old friends differently than you talk to maybe other people in your lives. And it was just fun to kind of like strike up those friendships again that way, and like create some seriously good music. I think I forgot like how big of a part of my life that was. And so it was fun to bring that back into kind of like who I am. And I don't think I'll ever let go of it at this point. Like, I'm excited to keep doing this.
Hell yeah.
Good.
Nice. I think for me, it's kind of what I touched on already. Like, I don't really have memories associated with making it, because my part doing my thing was, it wasn't the biggest part of it. And it's so nice to have a project where you don't have to, like, you're not so into it that you are sick of listening to it because you had to do it so much. And sometimes when you make an album, you have to wait like 5 or 6 years down the line where you've like washed away all the pain it took to make it, to listen to it. And you're like, oh, this is cool. It's nice to just get that right off the front and just like be like, oh, this is great. You don't have to have all that stress.
Yeah.
Well, and when you're like us and you're independent musicians and you're making records independently, you got to wear a lot of hats. You know what I mean? So you're the musician, you're the songwriter, you're the producer, you're the recording engineer. You know what I mean? And so it's just a lot, and it can be cool. Like, I enjoy all of those things, but there is something to be said about not having to do so much. You know what I mean? To just have a singular role, or maybe a couple different roles instead of 5 or 6 different roles. You know what I mean? And I think we've all taken part in different roles over the years and in different groups we've played with. But I envy Matt, because it would be cool to just play guitar on a record or something and not have to worry about anything else. It'd be a nice change of pace, I think.
Yeah. So before we go into these next couple questions, do you guys plan on bringing this project to the stage, like doing live performances with it?
I mean, I think we would all be down for it. It's a little difficult. Matt lives in Los Angeles. We live in Utah, so that's obviously an issue. Scott and I probably could do some stuff as a duo around here. I think, we've been rehearsing a little bit, just kind of like 2 acoustic guitars and stuff. So I think probably initially, if we start doing some shows and stuff, it would probably be something like that, just like an acoustic performance or something. If we found a way that was convenient, to get out to Los Angeles or something, then we could put something together, the 3 of us, and do something. But
all right,
we're always open to performing.
All right, fair enough. So when you guys are performing, do you have any pre-show rituals that you would like to share with the class?
No.
Okay.
Nice.
Honestly, like, I haven't performed live in a while, like in person. I mean, obviously over the last year, nobody's been performing, but not really. Usually it's just like, it just kind of happens really fast. You show up to the gig, the people before you play too long or something, and so you have to hurry and set your stuff up and hurry and start playing, because usually if you're on a show that has multiple, people performing, it's just kind of like hurry up, play, hurry up and get off. It would be nice to have like a show that is like yours, I think, where people are there to see you perform. And you can kind of take your time and do it right. But I just, haven't been to that in that place for a while, you know what I mean? So I think it would be different. Maybe I would start getting some rituals, going.
I remember Mike. Here's another just inside story for you. Mike and I used to play basketball together on the junior high basketball team.
God damn.
I remember before every game, Mike would do push-ups.
I don't even remember that.
He did do that. Like 8th grade, he's like down there doing the push-ups, and then like he was just balling after that. So I could imagine him doing that before a show too.
Some push-ups, maybe I'll
Incorporate that into the live set. Yeah.
Pumped up.
Yeah.
If you don't have time before the live set, you can just do it on stage to get the crowd pumped, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I do remember. I know in the Brobex days when we were touring, especially and doing a lot of shows, and some of the shows were bigger shows. You know what I mean? We would do some of that. We would, if there was ever a basketball, sometimes we would bring a basketball, and we would just mess around with it before the show began. You know, in the parking lot. Just to, I mean, it does help to kind of, you know, get your body going and maybe work off some of the, you know, the tension or whatever, apprehension. So, I probably would do something like that.
All right. Okay.
All right. So, if and when you guys do take this album to the stage, what 3 songs off of it are you most excited to play live?
I have one.
Yeah. What?
I really think it'd be fun to do like, you know, real electric guitar versions of Amen and Amen. I think that song like rocks big time. It'd be fun to play it live.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the hard thing about being a 2 or a 3-piece is all the songs we recorded have, you know, they're built for like a 6-piece band or something.
Yeah.
So it'd be hard to replicate that, you know, without maybe doing some backing tracks or something. So we would have to, you know, obviously we'd have to rearrange some things, you know, for smaller group, you know. We probably won't have 6 or 7 people on stage playing. I guess we could, but
I mean, it'd be pretty cool.
You want to split the money 7 ways? I don't.
Yeah.
Not when there's like a 50-50 shot you're going to get paid anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good times.
So picture this, you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Here we go. This is the good stuff.
There we go.
We're talking Frill. There's a thing called F-REAL. Is that how you spell it? It's like this weird shake.
Frill.
Yeah, they have them at gas stations. It's like a shake that it's concentrated and you put it in this machine and it turns into a shake like fresh. There's a place between Los Angeles and Las Vegas that has it. Prim.
We've got them around here too.
Yeah, Maverick has them, right?
Yeah, we have them.
They were so good.
Yeah, those were always good for the road. I've always liked like Chex Mix. What's the kind that's like there's the kind that's not like cookies and cream, but it's the kind, I think it has like white chocolate or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just I
know what you're talking about. It's great.
Yeah, maybe it's Oreo Chex Mix. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's always good.
I mean, sounds good.
Yeah. I'll have to look it up and send it to you.
All right.
We used to have in one of our bands, we had a guy who would get really excited about weird things on the menu. He would order it and then get mad at himself for ordering it and not eat any of it. You know what I'm talking about, Mike Gross?
Yes, because there would always be something wrong with it. Like they'd always mess up his order, or like he'd order something and it ended up being like $25 and like really have $25. Like, I mean, he did, but like it was really cutting into his budget. So he was like, why did I do that? You know?
And we were all like, this stuff's great. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, man.
Why didn't he read like the menu beforehand and look at the price?
Yeah,
because he just didn't
care enough.
Never did that. Never learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Another one I thought of was donuts are always good too.
Yeah.
For the road, especially if you're ever going through California, there's like a donut shop on every corner.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty easy thing to just grab some and go.
I agree.
I'm real close to a donut place now. It's great.
Living the life.
Oh yeah, Donut King.
Scott, do you have one?
I'm gonna go with combos.
Yep.
I'm gonna get real weird. The blue cheese. It's like the there's a combos version that's like buffalo blue cheese or something like that. It's actually really good, Matt. You need to try it. And beef jerky.
Beef jerky,
Combos.
classic.
Combos beef jerky or just beef jerky?
Combos and beef jerky.
Okay. I didn't know if they had come out with the beef jerky flavor. I was like, oh.
So Combos is a brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see. There's the buffalo blue cheese. Nice.
Dude, I'm telling you right now.
I would eat that.
Solid.
That's what you're doing after this.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I know you guys have recently just dropped this album, but are you working on anything new that you can tell us about?
You got any new songs?
I mean, there's always stuff that we're cooking up. Mike is like a songwriting machine, and his Whisper Hawk, group or solo project he's always cranking out great tunes. But I would say we do plan on writing some new tunes together and doing something with it for sure.
All right.
Yeah, we haven't started writing any new Goldeneyes stuff yet, at least me personally, but I'm pretty sure once we just decide, hey, let's do another album, then we'll probably crank them out really fast. But yeah, I just finished another Whisperhawk record. It's not released yet. I don't know when it's going to be released, but so I've been working on that, and now I think for the first time in a while, I don't have much to work on. Oh yeah, I am remixing an old record of mine, my first solo record called Tales from a Country Home. I'm actually remixing that for fun. But yeah, I don't have any brand new songs on the horizon right now, but it all happens pretty fast.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm always tinkering with stuff. Like some people are just kind of like wired that way, where there's just like music going on in their heads, and I'm one of those people. And so what I do is I record those little sound bites, and I probably have 25 or so like almost songs that I think I'll go back to, and those will probably make up some of what we do next together, I would say.
All right, that's exciting.
Okay.
Matt, you working on anything new over there?
I just recently finished the score for another movie that'll come out in a year, maybe, or I don't know. It's kind of all up in the air at the moment.
All right.
It's called Ghosts of the Ozarks.
Matt does movie scoring too, so
Wow.
he directs and he composes music for movies too.
God damn.
Extremely
Busy man.
Crazy.
Busy man.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun, actually, and maybe I'm proposing this, very publicly right now.
Okay.
But it is what it is. I think it'd be fun to kind of get some of that movie score work into maybe some of what we record in the future. Matt knows I really dig that kind of music as well. And it'd be fun to integrate some of that into some of our writing.
There you go.
Nice.
It's settled.
All right, it's gonna happen next album.
There we go.
Awesome. Matt, your hands-off approach is done now. You have to work super hard on the project now.
Yep.
We can do it.
So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years?
I don't know. I think that
Prison.
Yeah, prison.
Oh. All
Probably.
right.
Most likely prison.
Mhm.
I think in 5 years we'll have put out probably a lot of music. I would like to get, songs out there. I envision us getting, a couple of placements or more within, for music licensing, whether that be television or film or something like that. That's something I'd like to do with this group, because I think at the very core, we're all songwriters. And that's how we approach music is songwriting and not necessarily like trying to chase a certain genre or whatever might be popular at the moment. I think we're traditional, maybe classic songwriters, you could say. We're influenced by a lot of classic music from 60s and 70s and through the 90s. That's kind of what we grew up loving, and I think that's kind of rubbed off on us as far as our songwriting goes. And those types of things tend to work pretty well when it comes to television and stuff like that. When you hear a song in the background of a TV show, it's usually kind of a singer-songwriter type thing going on.
Yeah.
And so I think it'd be cool to get some stuff like that. Plus, that would help us to keep making and recording music too. And yeah, hopefully we can get some shows going too in some form.
Hell yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Solid. All right. So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, of course.
Sick. All right. So we're going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Death Row Records?
No, death row, death row.
Yeah, like you're gonna
I was
die.
talking about prison.
Exactly, yeah.
Sorry, say that again. Death Row.
What's your
Death
last
row,
meal?
last meal, last drink.
Wow. That's a good one.
Stumper.
I really like Asian food. So I'd probably have some sort of Asian dish, maybe something Filipino or Thai. I really like that stuff. So I think it'd probably be something like that. And my drink would probably be a Fresca, black cherry.
Okay.
Mike, what would my last meal be?
Plain hamburger with nothing on it, and cheese with a Coke.
That's good. And fries, of course.
And fries. Yeah.
And now you're stuck with it.
Back in the day, Matt, it was the 2 cheeseburger meal.
At McDonald's, yeah. It's still pretty good.
Eating that with you many times.
Yeah. With nothing on it.
You've expanded your horizons a lot since you've...
I eat other food now, but you got to go back to the classics when you're...
Yeah, there was
You
there was a time where Matt would only order like 2 things. He would only eat 2 things, it seemed.
Now it's like 3 or 4. So.
Now it's 3 or 4.
Oh, that's
You
good.
literally doubled it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Scott, what are you eating and drinking before you die?
Okay. This is hard. My wife is an exceptional, eclectic cook. But I think one of the best things that she makes. I'm also into international cooking. My favorite food is probably Indian food, and she makes just a fantastic tikka masala.
Whoa, I love tikka masala.
All right.
So I'd probably go with that, and I would probably go with the Rockstar juiced drink that they have. Oh, it's actually right here.
Oh, look at that.
You pull out the entire garbage can. Nice.
Okay, solid.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I'm digging those drinks right now. Don't see that changing by the time I get to death row.
Fair enough.
Little known fact about chicken tikka masala, it's believed to have originated in Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh.
Very interesting.
Just ruined it.
But they like there's so many places there that have it. I mean, it was at an Indian restaurant, but it's amazing there. It's so good.
So true.
Interesting.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Fictional world.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Finger.
Somebody has to go first.
I'm gonna go with Hill Valley,
I knew somebody was gonna say
California,
it.
1955, with Biff, Marty McFly,
Of course.
and the gang.
All right.
I got to think of another one because that's what I was going to do.
You
Well,
can
not
have-
1955, but
You can have the same one.
2015, Back to the Future 2.
Okay.
Okay.
More.
What about the alternate 1985?
You mean Hell Valley?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Difficult.
Did I ever tell you, Scott, that I ride my bike around town all the time, and I was watching Back to the Future, and there's a part after he leaves Doc's workshop at the beginning and skates past the Burger King. I was like, wait a minute, that's the Burger King that I ride my bike past all the time.
Wow.
I'm
What?
basically Marty McFly. I used to live right next to Doc Brown's house, also in Pasadena.
Oh my god.
That blows my mind.
That's very
Goddamn.
cool.
That's so cool.
We need to go check it out.
I can give you the tour. There's a couple places around that are fun.
Let's do it.
That's so cool.
And that's why you're famous, Matt.
Yes.
Yeah.
He knows all the spots.
Yeah.
You know, all the places from Back to the Future. Actually, Pee Wee Herman's house is not far from Back to the Future's place. Anyway, we'll get there.
All right.
Wow.
Mike.
I don't know if there's a fictional world I would go to, but if I could go back in time, let me just kind of change it a little bit. I'd like to go back to the 70s. I kind of feel like I should have been around then. I just like a lot about that era.
Fair enough.
So that's where I would go.
Okay.
Okay. Solid.
If that's okay with you guys.
That's fine.
No, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine.
I don't think that's okay.
I can change it if you want.
No,
No,
I
it's
think
good,
I think
it's
it's
good.
okay.
Pick a fictional movie that takes place in the 70s.
That's a good middle ground.
I don't know. Just say Almost Famous. Isn't that in the 70s? Early
It's
70s?
Is Grease in the 70s? I don't know.
Grease
Yeah,
is the
Grease.
50s, I think.
50s?
It
Oh.
was made in the 70s, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not all the way wrong.
Okay. I'll take that.
I feel like every fictional world thing that I like is always like not a place you want to go to. Like nobody wants to live in Game of Thrones or like
No.
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, what fictional worlds are there other than like Star Wars or Star Trek or something? I mean,
You got like Lord of the Rings,
Lord of the
Harry
Rings.
Potter.
Hunger Games, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
Nobody
Oh,
wants to go there, but I
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
But it's an option.
Yeah.
That's why I chose Hill Valley, guys.
Exactly, yeah. Good choice. Okay, so I'm just gonna
Yeah. Just go.
Maybe that
Just go.
movie-
I'm just gonna lock that in. All right.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question. What is your favorite color?
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. We haven't gotten a laugh in a while. No.
Mine changes.
Okay.
So like, you know what I mean? I go through stages where I really dig a certain color, and right now I really dig gold.
Ooh. Okay.
Color gold. And I have a couple guitars that have like a gold color to them, and I don't know, something about it just really pleases me at the moment. But I've also liked white in the past, which is really boring. But
Fair enough.
I think white's a cool color. I
Yeah.
love white guitars and just stuff like that.
I have kind of a maybe embarrassing, revealing response to this one. I do like my clothing shopping on my own. Not all men in relationships do that. Their significant other influences that. I kind of just have always done that on my own. I don't know why this is, but most of the things in my closet are gray.
Okay.
Fair
And
enough.
my wife will look at my closet and she's kind of like, dude, are you gonna like mix it up at all? Like, what's going on here? And for some reason, I just keep gravitating to gray. So maybe that's my favorite color.
All right. Gray's solid though.
Yeah,
Gray's
it's a
good.
good color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite color used to be red. Now it's, I guess, orange, amber, which is kind of golden, like what Mike's saying.
All right.
And then,
Color.
and a good combo with that is like a good orange and a good cyan. Like
Yeah.
two for,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
That's
exactly.
a great plug.
Exactly like
Yeah.
that.
And actually, that's a great segue. That's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Just like to plug my T-shirt. This is from the '80s TV series Hunter, which I think lasted maybe 6 seasons or so.
I would also like
Oh.
to talk about the 80s. I have my clap on, clap off t-shirt.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Okay.
So I would just say, again,
The T-shirt.
watch reruns of Hunter on, one of those cable channels that are like your parents watch, your grandparents watch. They show like old reruns of, stuff from the 70s and 80s. You can probably find it on one of those channels. I dig it. So
All right.
I bought a shirt of the guy's head.
Yeah.
Nice.
You should get the album, maybe.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out the album. We have T-shirts too on the Goldeneyes Bandcamp page. I think the goldeneyes.com might even just take you to the Bandcamp page. I don't remember, but anyway, we have hard copies if you like, little mementos like compact discs, or if you like T-shirts, we have those too. So check that out.
All right.
Solid.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us, guys. It's been the Golden Eyes and We're the Good Noise podcast.